You brought up this really interesting point about what Esther had to do at the restaurant with the placemat. And as I went up to my room during the break, I was thinking about it, and I thought to myself, if I let the universe take care of what I'd like it to take care of, what was on that list? Was it specific? Was it general?
Well, it was specific because you carved it out. You have to realize that through the experience of life, of knowing what you don't want and knowing what you do want, you have very specifically put the characteristics of what you want into the vortex. And the larger part of you has not only been aware of them, but has been the vibrational equivalent of them ever since you put them there. And every time you have a new experience which causes you to amend it a little bit, to change it or expand it a little bit, because as you move through life you do that all the time, the inner being part of you keeps up with it. So you created it specifically, and it stands with such specificity that it stands there really specific. It does. It stands there. It stands there in that perfection that you have assigned. And so now your only work is to allow the perfection that you've assigned to flow into your experience at the perfect moment in time. And that's why we said earlier, when you feel impatience, it means you're not allowing it. Even though it's ready for you, you're not ready for it. And if something that you're ready for comes before you're ready for it, it just bounces off of you.
Right.
Somebody else doesn't walk away with it, but you don't get it.
Right. So the allowing myself to be okay with not being ready for something is where I'm going to let the universe take care of everything.
That's really what we want for all of you. We want you to just chill out. That's why we say things to you like, you never get it done and you can't get it wrong. That's why we just said to you, do you think that you're ever going to accomplish a vibrational grid that's going to serve you for the rest of your life? It's moment by moment by moment. That's the fun of all of it. It would be like being a wonderful athlete, let's say a tennis player, really enjoying the game, who wins all of the top honors and then says, no point in ever playing again. And we say, really? We thought you were playing because you liked the agility that your body discovered. We thought you liked to play because you liked the clarity and the strength of your body. We thought you liked it every time you put that ball right where you meant to put it. We thought you liked the intuitive feeling that you had when you anticipated where the ball was going and you were there to meet it. Even when that other guy is so good that he usually surprises people. We thought you liked the game. Are you saying you only like the trophy? You see, and you all came for the game. And the game never ends, you see. You got to keep playing. You got to keep playing, and you got to keep winning, but you got to keep playing because there's always another game and another game and another game and another game. Every moment there's another game. There's another point of clarity. There's another opportunity to uplift. There's another opportunity to have way more fun than you've ever had before. That grid is just ripe. The vortex is ripe with whatever the grid is ready to allow, you see. Your work is to prepare the grid. Your work is to be ready for what's ready. It's ready. The question is, are you ready? And if you're having fun, you're ready.
Right.
If you're chilling, you're ready. If you're happy, you're ready. If you're flowing with enthusiasm, you're ready. If you're ornery, you're not ready for what's in the grid you want. You're ready for what's in those other grids.
So does that mean that I don't know what I want, or is that I just have to allow it?
Oh, we think you know, because negative emotion always means you put something there that you're not allowing. You can never not know. We can pronounce you that. You're not ever again gonna not know.
Right.
You always know. You might deny. You might deny that you know, or you might resent that you have to hold the vibration. Esther says that to us every now and again. Oh, really? I liked it better before I knew so much. I feel so responsible. And we say, then you're not ready. Feeling of responsibility is not being ready. I feel responsible to my point of attraction. What am I doing wrong? You're feeling responsible and self-critical. You can't allow what's in your vortex if you're self-critical. Well, what do? How do I learn? How do I be smarter? By going general. I understand the laws of the universe. I believe that I offer a point of attraction. I accept that I've lived a lot of life and that I've put it there. I know enough from what I've heard and felt from Abraham to know that these laws are substantial and consistent. I don't want to ask to be the exception in the universe. I can go with the flow of the laws. I can do that. I want to be happy. I want to be happy, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be happy. I'm willing to stop being responsible if it's necessary to being happy. Now, that's interesting. Oh, I'm no longer going to be responsible. My children will starve. Too specific. Too specific. I'm not going to take on more than is mine to take on. I'm not going to try to control the world. I'm not going to try to control what others are thinking or doing. Lighter, lighter, lighter. I'm going to trust that they all have an inner being. I'm going to trust that they will find their way. I'm going to look for my way and trust that others will find theirs. Lighter, 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 lighter. But what if they don't know what to do? Negative emotion. Too specific.
Go general.
Go general. Well, they'll figure it out. Everybody's not ready for this leading edge conversation. And what they're ready for, the universe will deliver to them. They'll be fine. A lot of people wouldn't be happy knowing what I'm talking about here today. It's too leading edge for them. They're not comfortable with this leading edge conversation. They're ready for what they're ready for. And they have an inner being who adores them, who has their back, and all kinds of non-physical energies that are focused with them. They're going to be just fine. They're going to figure it out. We're all going to figure it out. We get to play together. Those of us who were ready for one another will come together as cooperative components in each other's experience, and we'll have a really wonderful time together. We're not supposed to ever get it all figured out. There's always more to figure out, more. I'm going to use my point of attention right here and now, my point of power, which is where me and me converge. It's where the non-physical inner being me and the physically focused me is where we converge. I'm going to converge right here in this now moment, and I'm going to feel good while I do it. I'm going to feel good. So then you turn on the television and there's something troubling. Turn it off.
Right.
You keep thinking about it. Change the subject in your mind. Somebody calls you. It's upsetting. Hang up. As you keep thinking about it, you're still upset. Change the subject. In other words, just keep reminding yourself, I'm going to tend to my point of attraction, which mostly means I'm going to mind my own business, which mostly means I'm going to do my best to feel good as best as I can. And I'm getting better and better and better and better and better at this. The thing that's interesting is that you all have big lives, and the bigger your life is, the more components you have. Sometimes you feel like you have too many moving parts. There's too much for you to control. But there's not too much for law of attraction to manage. And all you have to do is look among the moving parts, pick a target that feels good to you, focus upon it until you've established it as your set point, lock into it and maintain it, and then law of attraction will give you feedback to let you know how well you've done, you say.
But in the locking into it, it's by letting it, by allowing it, right? By letting it come to you.
By locking into it, we mean focus upon it until you feel the relief.
Right.
Let's add this to it. This is really good. Find the general place and lock into it. Find the general place and lock into it till it's boring. Then find a more specific place and play around with it until it feels really good. Then lock into it until it feels boring. And then feel around and find the place until it feels good, and then lock into it. We can offer examples, and we will offer examples of that as we're moving forward.
Yeah. So that's where you used this term earlier, vibrational altitude. And I thought that was really interesting, especially coming into the concept of the physical arena and playing the game, like you were just talking about. You referenced that earlier. Yeah. The vibrational altitude is when you can hold, it's when you shift and hold, and when you know it's not right, you shift and hold, right? It's just a process. I think
that's a good picture.
Okay.
And we would call it vibrational awareness. You see, because most humans offer most of their vibration, and so their point of attraction is mostly caused by what they are observing. And since they are using their visual sense and auditory sense, in other words, you're using your physical senses to observe, you're observing all kinds of different vibrational things. You're watching things on television or reading things in your newspapers. So you are locking onto things because they're around you to see, not being very picky or selective. It's just there to see, so you see it. But when you begin to explore what's in your vortex, where it hasn't manifested yet, so there's no manifested car to see in your garage or no manifested lover to find in your bed, is a vibrational version of it, then sometimes, since it's easier to just observe than it is to subtly interpret the vibration, you just observe, which means you hold yourself in a mixed vibration. I like that, I don't like that, I want that, I don't want that. And so your point of attraction is scattered and bringing you more of all of that. Once you decide that you're going to explore the subtle vibrations, which means you have to feel your way there, you can't just observe, then what happens is you think and feel and think and feel and think and feel. You have to be aware. Esther would say to Jerry as they were driving sometimes, she would say, I don't know what I was thinking about, but I don't feel good. And he'd say, well, what conversation were you having in your mind? And sometimes it would take her a little while to trace herself back to what it was that was bothering her. But there always is a vibrational root. And every time you are bothered by something, it always means the same thing. It means that what you've got active, which means something you're thinking about, is a different opinion than your inner being, who has an opinion on the same subject.
Yeah.
And if you can just remember that, but think about it. We just had this conversation a minute ago. It's really, really the next leading edge conversation that we're going to have in all of this. Your inner being is always more general. Ooh. You're the specific part of it. So your inner being is always more general. Now, stay there with us. You like that? Are you feeling the relief of that?
Yeah.
Your inner being is more general. Your inner being is focused upon what you want in a more general place. So you can always go back to that more central, more centered, more stable, more sure place, and then reach forward to be more specific again. And you can tell by the way you feel whether you're feeling your way in the direction of what you want. And then once the momentum starts happening, suddenly you come out of what feels like darkness because you're not using your eyes when you're feeling emotionally, and suddenly it all lights up and you know exactly what to do. You see it. The idea flows to you as clearly as it did in your dream when you were flying.
Right. And that happened once you've established your vibration.
That happened in the moment that you found a way to stop offering the static resistance.
Got it.
So
Vibrational trust fall.
So let's apply an old analogy that we've used for a long time because it fits here. Pure positive energy is like the cork up there floating on the surface of the water. Hold it under the water, that's what resistance is. But when you let go, it will float right back up again. So when you stop doing that thing, so don't try too hard. That's really what we're getting at. You're working too hard. And that's why we're trying to get you to go general. As you go general, you work less hard. You find that vibrational place. Friends, we're out here on the leading edge of this, and we're going to stay here and go beyond where we are. But if you will let this week be the opportunity to use your power of general deliberately, and then enjoy the specifics that fill in, by the time you get off this ship, you'll have this. You will.
That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you.